Hello learners, this is Education Online Program. With you is teacher Rose Hezekiah, and I'm here to present for you a lesson in Senior 1. Our topic for today is oxidation reduction, that is redox reactions. It is sometimes called redox reaction. And oxidation reduction reactions are reactions that involves oxidation and reduction simultaneously. That is oxidation taking place as well as reduction. That's why it is called redox reactions. There are two processes. There are two processes taking place simultaneously. That is oxidation and reduction, and that's why it is called redox reaction. So I will start first by oxidation. We see what is oxidation, then we will also see what is reduction. So oxidation, by definition, oxidation is the addition of oxygen. Oxidation is the addition of oxygen to a substance or removal of hydrogen from a substance. Oxidation is the addition of oxygen to a substance or removal of hydrogen from a substance. So, for example, let us look at this reaction. We have copper metal plus oxygen gas. This gives us copper 2 oxide. Gives us copper 2 oxide. So in reaction number 2, we have hydrogen sulfide gas plus chlorine molecule, that is in gaseous form. This gives you sulfur plus hydrochloric acid. So in reaction number 1, we have copper has been oxidized, because copper metal, we change it from copper metal to copper 2 oxide. Therefore, copper has been oxidized. Copper has been oxidized to copper 2 oxide. Has been oxidized to copper 2 oxide, since oxygen has been added to copper. So we have in reaction number 1, we have copper metal, that is in solid form, plus oxygen gas. This reacts to give us copper 2 oxide. So copper has been oxidized. As we said, oxidation is the addition of oxygen to a substance. So addition of oxygen to copper, therefore copper changes from copper metal to copper 2 oxide. Then in reaction number 2, in reaction 2 we have sulfur has been reduced, because we say that sulfur has been oxidized, because we say that oxidation is removal of hydrogen from a substance. So in reaction 1, copper has been oxidized because of addition of oxygen. Meanwhile, sulfur is oxidized because of the removal of hydrogen. So from hydrogen sulfide, we have sulfur metal. That is in solid form. So oxidation of copper because of addition of oxygen, and then oxidation of sulfur because of removal of hydrogen. So we have in reaction 2, in reaction number 2, sulfur has been oxidized. Sulfur has been oxidized since hydrogen is removed from hydrogen sulfide. Since hydrogen is removed from hydrogen sulfide. So instead of hydrogen sulfide gas, we have sulfur metal plus hydrochloric acid. Then oxidation also, oxidation means addition or loss of electrons. Oxidation also means loss of electrons. So oxidation can be addition of oxygen to a substance, removal of hydrogen from a substance, then loss of electrons from a substance. In these three cases, oxidation can take place. So oxidation means loss of electrons from a substance. For example, we have sodium metal in solid form can lose electrons to become sodium ions plus the electrons that is lost. So we know that metallic elements react by losing electrons. So once they lose electrons, they become oxidized. So sodium atoms may lose electrons to form sodium ions, Therefore, oxidation can be because of gaining or addition of oxygen, loss of or removal of hydrogen, and then loss of electrons. So let us look at reduction. What do we mean by reduction? So reduction is the removal of oxygen. Reduction is the removal of oxygen from a substance reduction or addition of hydrogen to a substance. Reduction is the removal of oxygen from a substance, addition of hydrogen to a substance. We have copper 2 oxide in a reaction. Copper 2 oxide reacts with hydrogen gas to give us copper in solid form plus water. In reaction number 2, we have chlorine molecule reacting with hydrogen gas to give us hydrochloric acid. So in reaction number 1, we have copper 2 oxide plus hydrogen gas gives us copper metal plus water. So copper is reduced from copper 2 oxide to copper metal. So in reaction 1, we have copper 2 oxide is reduced to copper metal. Then in reaction number 2, we have chlorine molecule. We have hydrogen is added to chlorine to give us hydrogen chloride. As I mentioned, that reduction is the removal of oxygen from a substance or addition of hydrogen to a substance. So in reaction 2, there is addition of hydrogen to chlorine that gives us a product of hydrochloric acid. So chlorine has been reduced to hydrogen chloride. Chlorine has been reduced to hydrogen chloride. So reduction also may mean addition of electrons to a substance. Reduction may also mean addition of electrons to a substance. So we have chlorine molecule can gain 2 electrons to give us chloride ions. Chlorine molecule can gain 2 electrons to give us chloride ions. So reduction is removal of oxygen from a substance, addition of hydrogen to a substance, and then gaining of electrons from a substance. So let us look at the following reaction in order to identify whether oxidation or reduction has taken place. So we have hydrogen gas reduces iron 3 oxide to form iron according to the equation. According to the following equation, we have iron 3 oxide plus hydrogen in presence of heat gives us metallic ion, that is in solid form with gray color, plus 3 moles of water. We have iron 3 oxide plus hydrogen gas in presence of heat gives us iron metal, that is gray in color, plus 3 moles of water. So in the following reaction, we have hydrogen is oxidized. So hydrogen is oxidized because oxygen is added to hydrogen to give us water. So number 1, we have hydrogen is oxidized. Then 2, iron is reduced. Because oxygen is removed from iron 3 oxide to give us iron metal. So we have iron is reduced. Therefore, oxidation and reduction has taken place in the following reaction. Hydrogen being oxidized because of the addition of oxygen to hydrogen, giving us water molecule. And then iron 3 oxide loses oxygen and it gives us, the product is metallic ion. So hydrogen is oxidized and then iron is reduced because of the removal of oxygen. So let us look at reactions of metals with cold water in terms of, with reference to oxidation and reduction. Look at reactions of metals with cold water in reference to oxidation and reduction. So we have reaction of metals with cold water. Reactions of metals with cold water. So we have metals, alkali metals like sodium. We have alkali metals such as sodium react with water, giving hydrogen gas. We have sodium metal plus water, that is cold water, gives us sodium hydroxide, that is a base, plus hydrogen gas. So we have metallic sodium plus water, 2 moles of water giving us 2 moles of sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. So in the following reaction, we can see that from metallic sodium to sodium hydroxide, that is oxygen has been added to sodium. Therefore, sodium is oxidized. Sodium is oxidized. Sodium is oxidized since it gains oxygen. Since it gains oxygen. Then we have water is reduced. Water is reduced since oxygen is removed from water. Oxygen is removed from water, giving us the hydrogen gas that is liberated. Therefore, water is reduced. Water is reduced since it loses oxygen. Since it loses oxygen. Then we look at reactions of metals with acids. Reactions of metals with cold water gives us a base and a hydrogen gas. And in the reaction we have the metal will be oxidized because of the gaining of oxygen, and then water is reduced because it loses oxygen. Then we look at reaction of metals with acids. Reaction of metals with acids. When a metal reacts with an acid, the result is redox reaction. The result is redox reaction. The metal, let us look at an example of a reaction of a metal with an acid. We have magnesium plus sulfuric acid, giving us magnesium sulfate, that is in aqueous form, plus hydrogen gas. So we have magnesium is oxidized because magnesium gains oxygen. Therefore, we have generally reaction of metals with acids. The metals are oxidized since they gain oxygen. Metals are oxidized since they gain since they gain oxygen. Therefore, in the following reaction, we have magnesium is oxidized while hydrogen is reduced. Hydrogen is reduced because oxygen is removed from sulfuric acid. Dear learners, we have come to the end of our lesson. See you in the next lesson. Bye bye.